After years of setbacks and missed deadlines, Blue Origin has finally made a notable stride with its New Glenn rocket. As the largest rocket ever built by the company, New Glenn was designed to be a formidable competitor to SpaceX's Starship. However, while Starship has already achieved multiple test flights and demonstrated significant progress, Blue Origin has struggled with repeated delays, gradually eroding its credibility with each missed milestone. This week, Blue Origin unveiled New Glenn at Launch Complex 36 in Cape Canaveral, Florida, signaling their ambition to launch the rocket by the end of 2024. Despite this promising development, challenges remain. The FAA recently introduced new launch license requirements, adding another layer of complexity. Should Blue Origin fail to meet these updated conditions, the highly anticipated maiden flight could face yet another postponement, further intensifying the mounting pressure from SpaceX. We will look into the details about this and whether Blue Origin will be able to launch this month or not. Before we delve any deeper, please make sure to subscribe to our channel for future updates about Starship and other groundbreaking achievements in the space industry. The rivalry between Blue Origin and SpaceX is both legendary and well-documented. On the surface, the companies share many similarities. Both were founded by billionaire visionaries, Jeff Bezos for Blue Origin and Elon Musk for SpaceX, who were driven by their passion for space exploration and a desire to revolutionize humanity's access to space. Both companies were founded in the early 2000s, with Blue Origin starting in 2000 and SpaceX following 2 years later in 2002. Their goals were aligned in many ways: developing reusable rockets, reducing the cost of space launches, and eventually enabling human life beyond Earth. However, despite their similar beginnings, the paths of the two companies quickly diverged. SpaceX adopted a fast-paced, iterative approach to rocket development, emphasizing rapid testing, failures, and improvements. This philosophy allowed SpaceX to achieve numerous milestones in a relatively short period. By contrast, Blue Origin has taken a more cautious, deliberate approach to its projects, often prioritizing perfection over speed. SpaceX, for instance, successfully launched its Falcon 1 rocket in 2008, becoming the first privately funded company to reach orbit. The company then introduced the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy rockets, both of which feature reusable first stages that drastically lower launch costs. More recently, SpaceX has been working on its fully reusable Starship rocket, which Musk envisions as the vehicle that will take humans to Mars. The Starship program has already conducted multiple high-altitude test flights and integrated flight tests. In contrast, Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket has completed several successful suborbital flights, but New Shepard's capabilities are limited to suborbital space, whereas SpaceX's rockets have been reaching orbital altitudes for years. New Glenn was announced in 2016 as the company's answer to the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy, but repeated delays have prevented it from flying, leaving Blue Origin far behind in the race for orbital dominance. Developing a large, reusable rocket is an immense technical challenge, and delays are common in the aerospace industry. However, Blue Origin's slow progress has fueled skepticism among critics. Adding to this skepticism are the legal battles that Blue Origin has waged against its rival over the years. Perhaps the most notable example occurred in 2021, when Blue Origin filed a lawsuit against NASA after the agency awarded a $2.9 billion lunar lander contract to SpaceX. Blue Origin argued that the decision was unfair and that NASA should have selected multiple providers rather than relying solely on SpaceX. This was not the first time Blue Origin had taken legal action against SpaceX. In 2014, the company challenged SpaceX over its use of Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center. Blue Origin claimed that the historic launch pad, originally used for Apollo missions, should be made available to multiple companies rather than leased exclusively to SpaceX. The challenge ultimately failed, and SpaceX retained control of the launch pad, which it now uses for both Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy missions. Despite the setbacks, Blue Origin remains determined to launch New Glenn. The key to New Glenn's success lies in its BE-4 engines. These engines, which are fueled by liquid oxygen and liquefied natural gas, represent a major technological achievement for Blue Origin. Each New Glenn rocket will be powered by 7 BE-4 engines, providing the thrust needed to carry heavy payloads into orbit. However, the BE-4 engine program has also faced delays which contributed to New Glenn's slow development. In 2022, Blue Origin finally delivered the first batch of BE-4 engines to United Launch Alliance, which will use them on its Vulcan Centaur rocket. Before New Glenn can fly, Blue Origin must complete several critical tests, including the static fire test of its B-4 engines. This test, which involves firing the engines while the rocket remains stationary on the launch pad, is one of the final steps before liftoff. The FAA must also approve Blue Origin's launch license, which involves a rigorous review of the rocket's safety and environmental impact. However, reports suggest that the December 2024 launch remains uncertain. If Blue Origin encounters any issues during testing or fails to secure FAA approval in time, the maiden flight could slip to early 2025. If New Glenn's flight is delayed to January 2025, it will coincide with SpaceX's Starship Flight 7. Given the immense interest in Starship, a fully reusable rocket with unprecedented payload capacity, New Glenn's debut risks being overshadowed. For Blue Origin, this would be a missed opportunity to capture the spotlight and showcase its progress. SpaceX's Starship program has already completed 6 integrated test flights, with each launch improving on the last. The early tests faced significant challenges, including mid-flight explosions and incomplete objectives. But each failure brought valuable data, allowing the company to upgrade Starship systems and performance quickly. Now, preparations for the 7th flight are well underway. Flight 7 will focus on refining the rocket's full flight trajectory, particularly the successful recovery of the Super Heavy booster and the upper stage, as well as improving precision landing systems. SpaceX has also been fine-tuning Starship's heat shield to handle the immense temperatures during re-entry. For Flight 7, the launch trajectory is expected to follow a similar path to previous tests, where the Super Heavy booster will aim for a controlled splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico, while the Starship upper stage will target orbital velocity and perform a controlled descent back to Earth. With improved grid fins, booster control software, and landing techniques, SpaceX is confident this flight will mark yet another step toward achieving a fully reusable system. When we look at 2024 overall, it has been the best year for SpaceX since its foundation. They completed over 90 Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy launches throughout 2024, surpassing their previous record of 61 launches in 2022 and 87 launches in 2023. Increasing launch cadence and expanding commercial partnerships have significantly boosted its revenue. By the end of 2024, the company is estimated to generate over $9 billion in revenue, a substantial increase from $7 billion in 2023. Much of this revenue comes from Starlink, SpaceX's satellite internet service. In 2024, SpaceX solidified its dominance in the space industry by securing several high-profile contracts, including major partnerships with NASA. The Starship program emerged as a cornerstone of the company's achievements, successfully completing 4 launches this year. Looking to 2025, SpaceX is setting its sights even higher. Elon Musk has announced an ambitious goal of conducting up to 25 Starship launches within the year, a target that, if achieved, would redefine the benchmark for heavy-lift rocket launch frequency. This vision isn't mere rhetoric. The FAA has recently granted SpaceX approval to streamline its launch licensing process, paving the way for this ambitious expansion. That's all for today's video. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.